Okay, so this will be a feedback slash critique for Baconmaru. Same match with Reckless, but focusing on Baconmaru's side, like what things could have been better, etc., etc. I think you already talked about missing punishes and whatnot, so I'm not gonna focus on that too much. I mean, we'll see. We'll see whatever else comes up. You are Iruka Mishima. Uh, so I don't know if you guys have played before, and I don't know like if there's any history between you two, right? But I think like just the run up Magic 4 just seems kind of meh. Uh, cause like right here, right? So you do the Magic 4, and immediately as like a okay, oh shit, that didn't work out, or okay, that didn't. Regardless of like the thought process going into it, it didn't work out, and now you're gonna backdash. So you do, which is fine. But you overcommit to the backdash, and then you miss out on your whiff punish opportunity, right? Because he whiffs the down forward 4, and you immediately overcommitting to a backdash, you could have you miss your launch opportunity, right? Because he's in switch. What is he gonna do? Block down forward 2? No, right? So that should have been a dash block, and definitely just a lot more dash blocking, right? Assuming you don't know this person, the mentor rank or whatever, obviously ranks don't mean anything, but let's be real, obviously. But at the early entry levels, there's going to be a lot more aggression, a lot more easy opportunity to bait out stuff, right? And it's about practicing the dash blocking skill at the early stages, right? What is your incentive? Like, what is your reasoning behind just running up and doing Magic 4, right? And you're not like locked in any easily disruptible frame trap. Reckless isn't recklessly approaching you yet. We'll get there. So, just like it's not the end again. It's not the end of the world, right? Doing what you did, it's just kind of like a hey, look, here's an overcommitment on your part that you didn't need to make, and you can instead just if you instead opted for a different strategy, you would have benefited a lot more. Like right here, like I guess you're just trying to be as very defensive as possible, and that is an admirable mindset. But defensive doesn't just also mean like just stand there and block punish everything and just focus on blocking. I mean, I feel like a good part of defense is also just punishing your opponent's mistakes in general and going for whiff punishes. So like right here, when you have the repeated whiffs, uh, some either 3 or doing like 1-2 or doing 1-2-2. Something to help capitalize on the momentum that you got from recklessly whiffing a bunch of buttons in your face. Um, so good whiff punish. Uh, that's fine. The classic. Uh, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with that setup or whatever. Just be more mindful of it in the future. If you see like you not ducking 3-3 like that, just assume that I'm gonna say, hey, you should probably duck 3-3, right? You need to make sure you maximize your punishment opportunities. And it's like, oh yeah, there's like mid follow ups or whatever, but it's not enough to like really discourage like the punishing the opponent for committing to a non-jailing mid high. Why? Okay, so if defense is your goal, why the challenge after the? What was exactly were you challenging after, like pressing after blocking switch 1? Just out of curiosity. Future. Oh yeah, just. Uh, It's not a big deal, but future videos and recommendations to you or anyone listening or watching this by any chance. If you guys upload stuff, please help put in your inputs and frame data displays. It just helps give a bit more information, helps analyze things a bit more for potential viewers and feedback. That's not a big deal though. But yeah, like what was the goal behind there? All right. Okay. It's fine. Nice. Solid side step. That's so weird string. I actually don't know the properties of that. That's fine. Alright, second time's a charm. Or third time, Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. That's sick. I didn't know they did that. They just get up and they just get launched. That's funny. First they brought back the old throw break system. That shit would be funny. A tragedy. Okay, so here I think it's just like a lag thing. Like your Magic Force should have beaten out anything he tried. It's just weird. So you whiff the first one. Oh, you just whiffed the first one. You didn't try it again. Your immediate focus here should try to be realigning yourself so that Reckless's back is to the wall, just to try and restrict their movement, or even if you were to just even if it isn't successful, right? But the opponent's gonna see you sidestepping. Sometimes they're gonna be cognizant and be like, oh fuck, my back is gonna be to the wall. I don't necessarily want to be there. But so you can force a reaction out of them just by doing that. So you don't have to overcommit to like these moves, right? It's not necessarily like, obviously there's situations where like your back's to wall, get the fuck out of there. And then here you're not necessarily in any immediate danger, but you have a opportunity to force a reaction out of your opponent with very little commitment on your end, because all you're doing is just sidewalking. He is always, you're just going to be sidewalking. And then as you change the axis so that your opponent's back is to the wall, sometimes they'll be cognizant of it, but other times they'll just be like, oh fuck, they're like sidestepping. So they're gonna be trying to like discourage that or something, right? Point being, you're achieving an ideal result, which is the opponent's gonna be reckless or try to freak out and do something, and you can then punish that. But you're doing so without having to rely on a move that can risk, spacing issues or anything, right? Unfortunate. Nice. Oh, unfortunate spacing. Uh, okay, so what exactly was the reasoning here, right? Why immediately go for the big call out with CD2? What lows have you been doing throughout the match that would make Reckless want to duck, right? Like I don't think I've seen you do a CD3 at all. I maybe missed one or two, who knows, right? Even if you had like some lows, right? Reckless just clearly isn't ducking that often. I think just doing that big of a call out, because in the past when you've knocked him down into wake up stuff, you've always just kind of done run up and then do something like forward 3. So again, right? Why go for the huge commitment? And it just feels like you kind of pulled the trigger too early and you needed to soften up your opponent more by giving them other reasons to duck or try to run out, run away or something, right? Doing more CD3, doing more CD1+2 so that they're more inclined to challenge you or try to sidestep out of the way. I don't know if CD2 has any good tracking. That's actually something I should check out later. Nice. Flash guys are pretty funny if they were somehow like usable as combo filler. That'd be pretty fucking wild. Maybe the turbo mode allows that. Turbo mode's so much fun. Okay, so like right here, a good punish, obviously, a launch would have been ideal, but any punish is, good damage. But going for something just like dash up down 4 afterwards feels just kind of, not the worst, like it's the safer play, but you could be doing a bit more, right? So doing, 1+4 there, doing CD3 for a bit more chunkier damage. Maybe even just doing down 2, because let's be real, Reckless isn't going to be backdashing anything you do right now. So here it should have been more, not necessarily big risk plays, but just a bit more explosive. You've played at least enough rounds. You played a few rounds with this guy to know that like, he's not really gonna backdash or sidestep too much. He's not really blocking low that often, etc., etc., etc. Right? And again, so the goal is you're using your lows to soften them up for your mids. If you like using Josie's mids, well, plenty of people do, I think. Yeah, you guys use a lot of like that down 4 and 1-4 thing. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that should have been a launch, but switch 1 recovers kind of fast, I think. So it's hard. It's hard to tell. It's funny. How the hell did she sidestep that? So you block CD1+2. Oh, you did down 4-1, and then she was able to sidestep. Sorry, I'm just tired. Good old Ramadan. Nice hop kick. Okay, again, so I can understand the reason of going for forward 4 because they're like sidestepping. Actually, I don't think that's like the worst idea. But look at the direction that they're sidestepping, right? So they're doing sidestep left. But at that distance, wouldn't CD3 still track, right? Okay, so where do you start the forward 4? Oh, like a little bit. So around where around here, where the win is. Yeah, I mean, not the worst. Not the obviously it's like oh he's sidestepping. Let me make him stop doing that. But I don't know. It's a weird decision. I feel like you could do CD3 here just to again because they've just been Reckless has just been stand blocking the entire time. I feel like you can take more risks by going for a few more lows. And CD3 in the mirror match is obviously a bit more risky because Josie can fucking launch it, but against an opponent who hasn't really been ducking that often, and sidestepping is very eh. I think at this distance, I think the tracking should still catch her. I don't know. I forget if it's like sidestep left against CD3 or whatever, but I felt like you were fine. I feel like, it's really just about you got in safely, fine. But if you use CD3, you got in safely with a nice bit of chunky damage for chipping, and then you're also +4, giving you a lot of stuff to work with, as opposed to, all right, now I'm -9 in my opponent's face. It ends up working out. I think you're still challenging him a bit too much, right? Like if that was hop kick, you would have died for challenging that, but it was down 4-2, which didn't work for some reason, which is whatever. Unfortunate. Yeah, so why the constant challenges on the 1-2-4, right? What are you pressing in these situations that just nets Reckless an easy counter hit, and that shouldn't be happening, right? Obviously, you're not gonna be able to react, duck, and launch every 1-2-4 in the history of this game, but by this point you've seen plenty of them to know like, okay, well, he's privy to using the string, so I should be ducking and launching him for it. I mean, at least you punished. So wait, what did you do after him? That's not the worst thing. Yeah, like if you're gonna do okay, like you've been doing 1-2-4 a bunch of times throughout the set, and Reckless just hasn't been ducking, and it's like, all right, if you're gonna go that far in, just do 1+4, right? Get some easy chip damage in. How much is 1+4? That's like 12 damage, I think. Maybe a little bit less. That's still, it is easy damage. Easy damage. And then you just, get your easy peasy switch mix up. As opposed to, alright, let me commit to this string that my opponent can duck and launch at any point, right? And, Reckless isn't punishing you for it, but it's like, alright, if he's not ducking 1-2-4, he's not ducking 1+4, right? So that means you get free damage into switch versus just gonna block a bunch, right? Just kind of like alternative options that continue to help advance your game plan that work in that same situation, right? You're not gonna get punished for doing 1+4, just like you're not getting punished for doing 1-2-4. Rip. Talk about punishment. Unfortunate. See, I like the sidestep there. I just don't understand why not just go for like a throw or something, right? 2+4 is kind of risky. I just think going for like the down forward 1-4-2 just seems kind of awkward. But yeah. Yeah, like maybe another 1+4 in that situation. Not now, but like when you're at the wall. Oh, that's scary. Oh shit. I guess off axis. Rip. Oh no! Man, down two. So nice. I like that move. What happened here? Yeah, this is where like the inputs would help. It's like why are you pressing buttons in that situation? What's exactly like your game plan here? Nice. Okay, so you're doing again. You're doing a lot of 1-2-4 and stuff like that, and you're doing jabs into it. It's like the entire time he's not ducking, right? So at some point you should start inserting more down fours and 1+4s. It again, down four's got pathetic damage, but it is damage versus zero damage, right? It is more than zero. It achieves a similar result of punishing your opponent for just stand blocking the entire time, and it'll help create frustration. They'll just be annoyed that they're taking this low, and it's like, fuck, I gotta do something, right? And then when they get frustrated, you capitalize on whatever risky mistakes they end up making, or risky plays that result in a mistake, right? Whatever mistakes they make, that's when you come in with the punish. Nice. It worked out. Okay. Neutral, punishment slash matchup knowledge, combos slash Oki, and personal opinion stuff. Neutral. If defense was the goal, it doesn't feel like you're doing enough to further support that game plan, right? A lot of times it just felt like you fell into this classic, like, I'm just gonna brawl and throw out a bunch of buttons and challenge a bunch. Like, you're just getting hit all over the place here, and I'm not sure what exactly, like, what is he hitting you out of, and more importantly, why are you pressing a button in that situation? Right? If your goal is defense, focus more on movement, focus more on dash blocking, right? It's not about whether or not Josie's backdash is good, it's more about utilizing a tool that nets you the most benefits with the least amount of commitment, right? The less you have to commit, the more the more rewards you will reap. Even okay, faced in a situation where you had the like CD2 versus dash blocking or something, right? CD2, a lot more commitment, a lot more reward, right? But even just not being punished is a reward in of itself. With a lot more dash blocking, you can just safely make any sort of attempt to gain information on your opponent that you want, right? Whether it's baiting a whiff, whether it's just seeing how they react in a specific situation. And you get to do all of that with negligible risk on yourself. Online obviously fucks things up, but whatever. We're talking about the principle of the matter, right? While we do not live in a perfect world, we're just saying, dash blocking is your friend and enables you a lot of opportunities. A lot of opportunities without having to make these heavy commitments that you're doing. Yeah, just doing a bit more, and it's not even just like dash blocking. No, it still is. Yeah, just a lot more dash blocking, because you can tell like reckless is very aggressive, likes to press a lot of buttons, and just a little bit of a backdash, a little bit of a sidestep here and there, and a movement would have created a lot of whiff opportunities for you. It's not the worst thing. It's just kind of like your goal of being defensive and focusing on defense could be better supplemented, like better supported. What else was I gonna say? Punishment slash matchup knowledge. Character matchup knowledge I'm not gonna talk about. Josie, you know what you need to do. Just tighten up those punishes, yada yada yada. I don't think Reckless ever ducked you like once, right? I'm exaggerating. I'm sure he ducked you like once, but the thing about it is like you're clearly facing an opponent who just refuses to duck, right? And you need to punish that more. You need to You need to be able to just be like, I'm not going to stop doing this until you start ducking, right? Because you need to soften them up to your more power mids for the bigger rewards and stuff. Even if it's just CD1+2 hitting, right? Not counter hitting, just hitting. It's like, oh, neat, it hit. I'm just going to get a free down 3+4 or whatever. And if an opponent refuses to duck against you, then you run a lot of easy CD3s into huge momentum swings in your favor. Is it a risky tool to use? Yeah, but it's like, if I'm playing Paul against Jin or Josie, right, am I gonna stop using Corsical Forward 3? No. I don't care that you guys can launch me. And that shit's neutral on hit. I mean, it's got other benefits, but the point being, it's like, if I'm facing an opponent who clearly is not doing a specific answer to a specific tool, I'm going to be more inclined to use that tool. Why? Because I know my opponent's not going to be ready for it, or they're not going to adapt the way they should in order to counteract that. So it's not necessarily matchup knowledge you got to brush up on, it's just more about being more mindful of what your opponent is doing, right? Yeah, that's about it for character, for punishment / matchup knowledge. Is like, tighten up your punishes and also start adjusting your game plan to what your opponent is failing to do, or just what your opponent's doing. You know how it goes. Combo / Oki. Combos were fine. Oki was solid. I like the use of 4-4-3, right? I think I talked about it in the Reckless video, but just kind of like, again, okay, my opponent is in a knockdown situation. What is the absolute worst situation I could put my opponent in? I'm gonna do that, right? Other than that, it seemed fine. Personal opinion stuff, right? Options that I think are neat, but your mileage may vary. I had it and then I lost it. If your game plan is if your game plan is to focus on defense, just completely do that. Just seal off utilizing these moves that create pressure for you, right? Even CD1+2, right? Unless you're experimenting with using that. Just focus more on utilizing a lot more movement to create opportunities for yourself. Just unnerving your opponent by being kind of like this immovable wall, right? You're not necessarily going to be playing the best keep out game, but when your opponent is just throwing themselves at you constantly, you don't need to play keep out, you just block and punish, right? If, and you know, you just commit to it, to hone in on developing those skills. Alternatively, right, if you're just, you know, your defense is the goal, but if you smell blood in the water, you're not going to say no to a free opportunity for stuff, right? A bit more CD1+2, a bit more CD3, right? Just tools that are obviously have downsides to them and have weaknesses and counterplay. I'm not denying that, but Reckless is not showing any of the counterplay necessary, right? Your opponent, these tools are normally not necessarily something that you would just say, oh yeah, just do it all day, every day. But when your opponent fails to show the adequate response of like, hey, I'm aware that these tools exist and I know how to counter them. If he's not doing that, then fuck it, go ham, dude, right? Other personal opinion stuff. Experimenting with what ranges you need to be doing forward 4, and what ranges you can just rely on your natural tracking from some of your moves, right? Namely CD3, right? Just, hey, even though that they're sidestepping at that range, CD3 will still track decently enough and you'll get a nice chunky damage. It's not that you shouldn't be using forward 4, but it's like in situations where you can either be -9 in your opponent's face or +4 in your opponent's face with some nice chip damage getting in there, right? Which one do you want to go for, right? Other options, just if your goal is defense, why are you challenging him on every like string that he presses? And when you like, it's like you're challenging him when you shouldn't be, and when you should be challenging him, you just kind of let things slide. So maybe tighten that up a bit. Oh, more 1+4. Just your opponent's not ducking. You have a very very, you have a neutral opportunity, whether you're either at advantage or you're clearly just kind of both waiting for someone to pull the trigger. If you're going to be slamming out mids and he's just going to be stand blocking all day, use more of your power lows. That's about it on my end for right now. That's just kind of everything that's coming to mind. I need to take a nap. I don't know. You know the drill, man. This is just my 2 cents at the end of the day. That's just, hey, here's what I thought about the matches. Here you go. As usual, if you have more specific feedback requested, if you have questions, comments, concerns, blah, 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 interpretive dance, whatever, feel free to shoot it in critique and just kind of, you're always in the Josie chord. You're in the right place. Just shoot the shit, ask some questions, figure out what you want to do. All right. Later.